Hey guys, it's me, and I thought I would show you a little bit about what we've been up to and what we will be working on this coming weekend, which is only Saturday, not Sunday. Anyway, this what you're looking at here is an Arduino Uno. It is an awesome. It's different from the Raspberry Pi in many ways. Of course, they're both tiny little devices that we're going to be learning. So one of the things I just wanted to show you, because if you use this on a Mac, you'll notice one problem. Um, and so this is the solution. Anyway, this is just a basic setup just to test that programming works. But if you notice on the screen here, you're going to notice that there was a problem. Jimmy actually checked it out because he was here. And when I tried to turn it on, I was getting this error that said board.com1 is not available. Now ignore these errors. These are different. Those are happening because the Arduino is not plugged in. Okay, so anyway, we're getting this, and the reason that we get this error, okay, is because there is the Mac, the Apple OS X actually blocks USB from working when you're using certain imitation boards that do not have certain types of security signatures. It's done for security reasons, but in our case, it doesn't let us use this board. If you notice, the name is Elegoo and not Arduino, and that's because it's kind of like a cheaper version of it. But everything else works great. So this thing got like almost 5 stars. So this is awesome. It actually got a higher rating, partly because it comes with a kit. As you can see here, we have expansion boards. This goes on top of the Arduino, gives it more features. Okay, we have a servo motor, we have another motor, we have a single digit, we have a complex digital display, we have resistors, we have a button for a joystick, we have a remote control, we have other microcontrollers, we have a battery power pack, we have buttons and photo cells, we have many sensors in here, and we have LEDs, we have jumper cables, we have another servo motor. So we got a lot of awesomeness, really, for just for a pretty good price. Anyway, the point was though, since this is not a genuine Arduino, you would get that error where what I just showed you, that it says that board.com1 is not available. The solution to that is not hard. Okay, but you do have to at least read and understand that if you implement the solution, you may be at slightly higher risk on your Mac OS X. In reality, the only risk is that somebody who is evil may plug in a bad USB that may root, or that may take control of your system. So unless you have that fear, this shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, to fix that problem, what's going to happen is when you are in the Arduino program, you click on Tools, and if you look at the ports, right now we will not see anything here. Now, right now I don't see it because it's not plugged in. But normally, before you change it, you're not going to see anything, the proper port here. So in order to enable it, you follow these instructions, where you start up. Okay, here you go. You reboot and hold Command R, and that's going to put you in this repair console. Okay, and in the repair console, you're gonna open up the terminal, and in the terminal you type this command. Okay, and then once it reboots, then you can go ahead and restart. Now, one other thing that I did, and it says here, disable the gatekeeper 2. In my case, I just did that anyway because I don't really need it. You may not want to. If you do these two features, though, you will want to keep a little note somewhere near your computer to remind you that these things have been disabled. Why? Because if at any point in the future something happens, you get an infection, viral infection on your computer or something, you may want to use that to see if maybe that was the reason. Because like I said, it does reduce your security. Now, let's move on. So in our case, once we have removed it, we can go ahead and plug in the board, and as you can see, that is what our programming there says. It's going to light up for a half a second, turn off for a half a second. So basically the LED right now is flashing at about 1 second intervals. Great. One other thing you can do to test it, of course, in this case, once it's like that, we can go ahead and verify our code. As you notice, everything's fine. You can upload the code, which of course there's no problem because it's running. So that means nothing, but you notice we get no errors. Okay. So another thing that we can do once we've got all of this is we can unplug it, because once that code has been uploaded to the Arduino will continue to use that command to power that LED. Whatever command you gave it, it will continue to use it when you power it with anything else. So in this case, see that? We're not plugged into the computer anymore. Here's the plug, just by itself. So we gave it the instructions that you see on the screen. It doesn't need them anymore. That's the point. You know, we want this to be mobile, and there it is. Now, moving on to the Linux Debian version, I actually kind of prefer this this setup because it's a lot easier. The only thing we really need to do here is either install it from the Arduino website. As you can see, just click here, and you can, or of course, our favorite way to do it is just using sudo apt-get. If we look at the cache, you're going to notice that we already have Arduino and other related programs. The one at the top is the only one we really want. So let's, and we click yes. And let's just speed through this here. Okay, and we can either launch it from the menu or type it here. First time it launches, it's going to ask you to add a dial-out group. So it will do it for you, and when we click it, it's going to ask us to reboot or to log out and log in. Yeah. For our purposes, it's the same thing. So let's go ahead and click add. Let's type in our password, and let's go ahead and reboot. And we'll be right back. Okay, so once we have added that, you can ignore these errors. That was just something else. We go into the tools and we make sure that we have the right board selected, and we make sure that we have selected the TTY here, ACM0. Okay, and let's go ahead and check our code. Code looks good. Notice that we changed the timing, so the timing should now change. Let's go ahead and upload. And as you can tell, the timing changed. As a matter of fact, we could do it again. I know, I'll change that right now. Verify, and notice how it's going to change. You notice how it's frequency, 9/10 on, 1/10 off, 1/10 on, 9/10 off. So as you can tell, on Debian, all we did was download it from apt-get, and then we noticed when we launched it, it asked us to add us to the dial-out group, and then log out and log back in. Once we have logged back in, as you can tell, everything works on here. It's a lot easier than the Mac, and we don't really have to give up any security measures, so I kind of like it better on the Debian. Okay, got any questions, let me know, okay? Okay, take care.